Laugh Lounge
Still
podcast.
don't have your notes.
Oh!
I thought
Okay.
you went to your.
No, I went to get the cat so I could show everyone it's her birthday.
1 time for the birthday, bitch. 2 times for the birthday, bitch.
I forgot that I needed to actually talk on this podcast.
Yeah, it's like, where are your notes?
Hi, Lit Laugh Loungers. Oh, guess what? It's Goose's birthday! Doesn't she look so happy to be here?
She is 3 years old. She's our little toddler en route, and she's
she's gone.
trying to run away. But
We're trying
okay.
to celebrate
We
you.
love you so much.
Say something for the people, Goose. Say something for the people at home. Wow.
Wow.
That was inspirational.
She actually said that you guys should listen to Lit Laugh Lounge more often.
Yeah, truly. That is exactly what she said. Hey.
Welcome.
we can't start this stupid podcast.
It's okay.
Okay.
It's okay.
Where the freak are we
So,
starting?
A lot went down.
Where the freak?
Quite a bit went down. We've lost a few characters.
We have?
Yes, in this little bit.
Oh. Not important. We have theories that we'll get to later about some people that it might go bye-bye. You know, we had this conversation. Okay.
I know.
More.
But we did lose a few characters.
We did
in this
lose a
one.
few characters. It was so heart-wrenching.
I know. I was really sad.
was so sad.
nearly
Really sad.
sobbing on my knee. Like,
Yeah. Did she just leave?
I don't know. I guess.
Our roommate walked in, saw that we were filming, and then walked out. Well, anyway, so chapter 60. This is a continuation of Rune and Lydia having really bad time management skills. Because they have really bad time management skills. Because they're like walking around this cave, looking for the buddies. And at this point, Rune has like smelled that Morven is like actually with the Autumn King as well. So he's like, fuck, we gotta go. And Lydia's like, so.
You want to talk about it? Like they're in the cave, and he's like, "Whoa, I'm getting whoa."
Oh.
I'm like, hold on, guys, your friends are in danger.
It's literally like they're sitting there flirting and like Rune's being a feminist, so like I can't really be mad at him. He's like, you know, men suck, and I'm like, I love you, Rune. And then he's like,
True.
he's like, so I would like to do this any other time. And then they speed off to go find the shotties. And then
I also love how Team Archive got literally nothing done.
murked.
They found nothing. They actually read through nothing, and like the only thing that was ever found were the maps that were found by Bryce on the first day. I was like, oh my god.
And like the earth magic thing, but that
Yeah.
really doesn't help.
yeah.
And so then Bryce is still in hell, and she's talking about how the third of the power that she was born with. They're talking about she has a third of the power that she was born with, and then she has the third of Thea's power that was given to Selena, and then Celine. Yeah, I wrote an A.
Selena.
Anyway, she has that third of the power, and then Helena had a third of a power, and then Helena was like, I'm gonna, like, just walking around, and then Thea put her third of the power. Goose, what are you doing? She's a birthday girl, she can do whatever she wants. So then Thea, when she was trying to kill Peleus, put her third of her power in the Star Sword, and then she perished. She did, as fuck. And so then Helena was like, you know, I don't think this is, like, a great hiding place for this magic power. Let me remove it, tell no one where I put it, and that it's just on this island somewhere. So then Bryce is like, so, how do I get this power? And, what's his name? Adita is like, so, I actually don't know where it is. All I know is that Helena used the ley lines, and Bryce is like, sick. That's not helpful.
Also,
And then-
I love how she. Well, no, we'll get to it.
Alright. And then they're talking about the portal to nowhere. No one knows what that means.
No, literally, like, where are they? Obviously nowhere, but, like, where are they going? You're just gonna send them to a random pocket in time? Like, that's your way of killing the Asteri?
Yeah, they're like, we don't know what that means. All we know is it can only be opened by Thea's power and the Star Sword and the dagger, and that's it. And then they're like, Bryce is like, hey, so like, why didn't Thea use this? And then the princes are like, so your world might also end up getting sent to the portal of nowhere. And she's like, but they're like, well, we think the risk is worth it, basically. And then Adida is like, Bryce, you need to open. Bryce is like, you need to open the Northern Rift like completely. And then we go to chapter 61.
Woohoo!
And so then they're still talking. They're still yapping in the little hell friends circle place. And they're like, so we had to think of a plan B in case all of these like teeny tiny like dominoes didn't go into effect. And they're like, Hunt, you're our plan B, bro. And he's like, what? So the Princes of Hell, aka Apollyon and Thanatos, were like, when we fucked around, we made like the Crystallos and the
like those were pretty
like
effective.
the Hellhounds. Why don't we just make a battery? So they made a battery, which is Hunt, and then they also made others, which were the Thunderbirds. But so then the Asteri were like, figured out the Thunderbirds were like kind of useful, so they hunted them to extinction. But they were like, oh, they thought they made Hunt. That's why he was allowed to stay alive, because, you know, rebellion, usually you kill those motherfuckers. But they were like, we made this one. He's useful. We're gonna keep him. We're just gonna enslave him, because that's, like, useful, right?
Yeah, because the Asteri didn't know that, like, Apollyon and Thanatos, like, imbued their beings, essentially, into,
Papas.
Hunt. So... now Hunt has 3 dads. He went from no dads to 3.
Yeah, so quick.
That's an improvement.
And so then they explain Hellfire, which is the lightning that Hunt has, and it comes from Apollyon, who used that to eat Sirius, who was apparently a girl.
Yeah, I know Sirius was a guy the whole time. I'm glad we both paused on that, because I went, her, and I went, huh?
Wait.
Oh. Okay, like I knew
Feminism.
I knew there were girl Asteri, but I didn't think Sirius was one of them.
Sirius just, it seems very man in my brain.
Yeah, like Sirius Black.
Oh, there we go. That might be why. I never read Harry Potter. Anyway.
At least you knew it was Harry Potter.
Oh, I'm so good at this. So then Hunt's like, but my father. And so they explain about his daddy issues.
And apparently his dad was a good boy.
Yeah, his dad was like chill as fuck. So he like worked in the archives with the Asteri, like trying to figure out something about Thunderbirds. And then he figured out that like the Princes of Hell had something to do with the Thunderbirds. He calls up the Princes of Hell and he's like, hey bro, how can I help? And they're like,
bro,
perfect.
you can be our little spy.
Now all we need is a girl. Because reproduction.
Yeah, and then he's like, I got the perfect one in mind. She needs some help.
Yeah. So like the whole thing is that his father and then his mother was like an angel, but she was in poverty. So he knew that by marrying someone associated with the Asteri, she would get risen out. So they kiss, fall in love, and then they have Hunt. But then Hunt's father gets taken by the Asteri.
Because they found out he was connected
to the Princes of Hell. Adidas, how dare you?
They didn't know about the little imbuing on Hunt.
That Hunt was alive, or that he was like the mom. They didn't know anything about his familial bond. So, and he kept that secret till the end, and so he was kind of sick as fuck. We love Hunt's daddy.
He died protecting his family, and I think that's great.
And I love that for him. And so then the princes lose connection, and Adidas is like, Bryce, if it comes down to it, choose life, choose love. Which, like, TBH, that kind of sealed Adidas for me. Like, I like him. I like him now.
Why are you calling him Adidas? Especially because you didn't call him that before.
That's really funny because I've called him that since book 1.
Just not to me, like in your head maybe.
Me and Shannon have called him Adidas, and then we call Rune Run Dun Dun.
Oh, I've heard that one.
Yeah, Run Dun Dun. Crown Prince with the Belmar.
Yeah, but Eros is slaying. I love how he's like, I was in love with this bad shit crazy girlie.
Yeah.
But I ended up letting like war and politics, take over, and then I lost my girlie. So now you got to keep your boy.
And I love that for him. He went, choose love. I have this really like batshit crazy theory that Adidas is actually Danica. Because he went, do it for love, and like through love all is possible.
Yeah.
He is Danica.
I think there's just a common theme of love in this book.
No, I want him to be Danica.
Okay, well that's your theory. That
I said it was batshit crazy. What do you think she is? Just normal? Lame. And then we get to 62. And Bryce and Hunt out of their fucking hellscape. And the Autumn King.
The Autumn King's like, is this your boy?
He's your man. And they have the besties in like a circle of fire. And then Bryce is like talking to them, baiting
Which also,
them.
I want to know how that happened. Because I know that like he's the Autumn King and whatever, but like you have a room full of very powerful people. Like at least Bakshin and Therion are really strong. So for them to just be like, oh, where did this fire come from? What the fuck? No one heard like the Autumn King.
It's a little hot in here.
Yeah, no one heard the Autumn King coming down the stairs. Like, y'all. Oh my god. So, okay, but sure. And then like, they're just like standing there in the fire.
In a circle.
And like, huddle together, guys.
And then every so often, like, Baxion's wing, like, feathers get caught on fire, and Therion's like,
I got you, boy.
I got you. It's so funny. And so Bryce is talking shit, and she's like baiting the Autumn King, and she's like, well, you killed the last Starborn prince. And he's like, yeah, what about it?
And then Morven's like,
you what?
my son.
And then there's like a big old fight, and Hunt's being a feminist, and he's like fighting the murder twins so Bryce could get at the other bitches, and all the bros in the fire are like, Hunt, go help Bryce, and he's like, she doesn't need my help. Feminism!
And I mean, I feel like at this one time, she probably could have used a little extra help, but you know, whatever.
So then Bryce like kind of lets go of her hate for the Fae. She's like,
you two were the problem.
you fucking suck, as if that's not what we've been saying.
Duh.
And then Bryce does it all for feminism, and then she melts the murder twins' brains, which is so funny.
So funny.
She's just like, his eyeballs were open, and then they like leaked brain. We got two.
Tori came in earlier. She walked in and walked out.
Anyway, so then they melt their brains, and then they like fall, and then Morven's like, ah! And then Bryce chops off the Autumn King's hand, which is like so ironic since someone specific also had their hand chopped off earlier.
I didn't even think about that. That's
We love you,
crazy.
Sevron.
Sevron.
And then she's like kind of losing the battle at this point, and then Run Dun Dun shows up and fucking right through his middle takes his daddy out. Fucking father aside.
Patricide.
Patricide? I knew that too. I don't know why I didn't say that. Father aside. And so then Ruin is like sitting there and he's talking to his father mind to mind. And he's like, I lied about the oracle.
No, he's talking to everyone, mind to mind.
Yeah. He's like, I lied about the oracle. She said that I would be the end of my bloodline, but she meant male bloodline because women. And his dad's like, you will be a terrible king. And he's like, actually, I denounce my crown to the queen. And then he decapitates his father and fucking skewers his head on the Star Sword.
Loki, that whole you can go. You don't have to go.
I was like, hashtag feminism.
But like Loki, that whole scene where like Bryce and even like some of what Rune would say where they're fighting the Autumn King, I was like, this is so cringy.
It was so cringy, but I kind of loved it. Here's the thing. Sometimes I'm all about like cringe, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like sometimes it's so cliche that I'm like, this is hilarious. I love it. Like slay.
Well, there was another part specifically with Bryce where she was talking about like being the queen, and I was like, okay. Alright.
Rin's the only one who's allowed to be cringy.
Mm,
We let him.
yeah.
And then they're like, new mission. And then she kills Morven. Anyway, sorry.
It was so random too. Like
Because he thinks he's gonna live, and then she's like, you.
It was so random because she was like they just left him to the side, and then at some point, and she's like, I'm the queen of Avalon now, and he's like, over my dead body. Oh. And she's
Actually,
like,
in the sense that
she's like, I'm actually really glad you brought that up. Oh my god.
it was so funny. I love that chapter.
It was so
I am
funny.
obsessed with that chapter. Good job, Sarah. And then she's like, new mission, find the third piece. And then they're talking about it, and they're like, it's part of the land. The ley lines trapped it beneath the island. And then she's like, light it up. and then they do what I said to do in the beginning, which is take the Star Sword and the dagger and put them in the Star Sword and dagger sized holes in the ground.
And the very large, convenient 8-point star on the ground.
I literally said it last episode too, and then she opens the floodgates. I knew it. I knew that. Anyway, I was so right. And then the ground falls away, and the Besties rise out of the dust. And Avalon is free, and the sun is shining, and the sky is blue.
Plants are regrowing.
And freaking Flynn and Sathia.
It's so insane. They looked insane. Fucking just
She's Bryce describes it as blackberries, brambles, blueberries, raspberries. Just popping out of her, and Flynn's making oak trees.
Yeah. And so I would never let them hear the end of that. I would be like, y'all looked crazy.
And this is a little bit we already know what chapter we're going to, but later they're talking about finding a place to stay. Why doesn't Flynn just grow a tree fort?
Oh, that could be really fun.
But he doesn't. No one thinks of that. Why didn't you just grow the trees into a fort?
That'd be so cool. I love tree houses.
I know. Anyway, that made me mad. And then, still in chapter 63, Bryce and Maroon cry together because trauma, and also their dad is kind of buried beneath tons of rubble. And then they're like, long live the queen.
Yeah, that was the part of it. Okay.
I thought it was so funny. I think it's so funny.
God.
I read Sarah's books strictly for the cringe factor. I hope we all know that. I love Sarah. I've been reading Sarah since I was 14, though. Mm-hmm. So these are 14 level books for the most. This one's 16. I read 16, but like the first one.
Okay.
And so I'm
I was this one?
No.
This one?
But so they're all they're young adult books to me. They're slightly cringe, and I love them for that.
And I will never be a Sarah hater.
No.
I just will never be a Sarah hater. I'm not gonna say she's the best author in the world, but I do love her books.
I do enjoy her books are so entertaining. So entertaining. And so we're chill. I just go into this knowing that it's probably gonna be camp.
And she's also such a cutie little millennial girly. I love her so much.
With her little children, they're so cute.
Children, yeah. Oh my gosh.
And then chapter 64, the castle destroyed. All of the building, all the architecture gone. And the people are so confused. They're like, what the fuck just happened?
Yeah, and then she's just like, I'm queen now.
And
Y'all gotta deal with it. And then they're like, no, where the fuck's our king? She's like, I'm queen.
I think, and then, Bryce and Hunt talk it out, which is kind of cute. I was chill with it. And then Declan finally gets signal. My bro finally gets signal.
Internet, I can be useful again.
I missed him. He's so great.
So cute. He really didn't say a single line.
No,
Almost throughout the whole time.
because he got kidnapped.
That's true.
And then his usefulness was taken away because he's a technology boy. I love Declan. He finally gets service back, and he was so happy about it. And then Lydia gives a speech about living under unchecked rulers and how she's never gonna do that again. And then Declan's like, guys, this BuzzFeed article,
I've got some bad news right now.
Crazy shit just happened. And he informs them that the Asteri have wiped out every rebel base and that they attacked the Asphodel Meadows.
Which, damn.
Crazy. And then that's the end of my section.
And now it's my turn. Oh my gosh. So we are at 65, and we are starting off strong with Ethan and Hypaxia.
I love Ethan.
They are
bad
on a boat. They're on a boat. They're outside the Avalon Mist, and they're like, what do? Do we just knock? And then as soon as they touch the mist, it parts. They're like, woo! They're like, oh, does this normally happen? And then Hypaxia is like, whoa! This doesn't look right. What happened to the Avalon? I know. Yeah. This is very sunny and beautiful. That is not Avalon.
I did not correct.
And so, so they go through, and then it switches to Hunt's POV. And Bryce is sitting up on this little, rubble. That's how I imagined it. And Hunt comes up to her, and he's like, hey,
Shotty.
You all right?
You doing good?
She's like, no. She's crying because of Asphodel Meadows being bombed, which is fair. Lots of people did die. And she's kind of just having a moment where she's like, I am the queen now.
Yeah.
And now all of this, I have to make things right. I have to fix it. And then she's like, oh, by the way, I'm sorry, Pookie.
I'm sorry, Pookie
I'm sorry.
Bear.
I would have looked
I'm so mean. I didn't feel mean.
I know, like, you're struggling with some stuff right now, but I just wanted you on my side. And he's like, yeah, like, I've been on your side. Like, I just did not understand this whole fight at all. Because it's not like Hunt was doing anything to actually stop her. He was just like advising against it. And then,
Anyway.
bless you. And then still being by her side, helping her whenever she needed to. So I never really saw the reason for this fight. But you know, whatever, it's just kind of
Tension.
bad tensions. I don't know. There still wasn't really tension. And then, yeah, so they make up.
Kiss, kiss, fall in love. Wow!
Okay. And then basically Bryce decides that Avalon is going to be a safe place for all of everyone who wants who wants to escape the Asteri.
Which is definitely like a smart move.
Yeah, because it's really good to have one place on this whole world. Because I think what Sarah, like I was saying that Sarah, like last podcast, that Sarah made the Asteri too like all powerful.
Too powerful.
And so it's like you can't go anywhere to escape from them. And so this is like a really good way around it because of like the Black Salt on Avalon. This is the one place where the Asteri can't come for them. Plus the the extra benefit of the mist. Although they could get through the mist, they just can't get onto the island. But yeah, so I think that is a smart idea. Smart move, Sarah. Love it to see it.
Let's go.
And so she also mentions that Fury and June and her mom and Randall and
Love
Randall are all on their way on a
Yeah.
helicopter. So it'll be really fun. I think it's kind of funny. She's like making sure. I'm surprised the Asteri just didn't bomb her parents' house.
They were in hiding.
It didn't bomb the parents' house or didn't try at least to go and capture them to like try and ransom with.
I am so confused by Fury's character. She is so useless, yet everyone's like, oh my god, Fury, she's so scary. She's a government agent.
Literally, I was gonna talk to you about that because I was like, does she ever do anything?
No.
Like literally every time she's like, she could help somewhere, she's like, oh, I'm not gonna risk June getting hurt. And
Or
it's
like Bryce is like, no, I don't need your help. Like,
yeah.
Like I understand. We'll get to that anyway. And she just, the whole thing with Fury makes me confused.
And now, it's in the next chapter, but she ends up like designating Fury to stay and help Bakshin on Avalon. So it's essentially just a way to not to have her in the story.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay. But I would love to see something more from Fury because the only time we ever saw action from Fury was in the first book at like the very end when she helps Hunt get to
Lunathon. Yeah.
Yeah.
I had to think of the word spelling in my head.
Yeah.
No, I think Sarah was like originally gonna have her do a lot more and then for whatever reason didn't. But
I think she realized she made her too much of an Amren.
yeah, because she's like, I don't know, the whole thing with her is just that she's so like powerful and no one knows what she is. But it's like, that's not as interesting when she's just a background character.
And we also don't know who she works for, exactly what she does, besides the fact that she can handle guns really well.
Yeah.
And has probably killed a couple thousand people.
Yeah, it happens to the best of us.
Yeah, whatever. But yeah, anyways, and then at the very end, they decide that they're going to open the Northern Rift and that they are going to talk to Jasiba to get the footage of Bryce killing the Asteri. Because
Micah.
My bad. To show the Asteri, essentially, she kind of wants to use it as like proof that like this world isn't as powerful as it thinks, and that you can like overthrow and like kill these all powerful beings.
She's gonna like send it out to the people of Lunathon and like everywhere and be like, look what I did,
look what I can do,
and then it's gonna cause like panic and like
me
riots.
A queen. But yeah, so that was the end of that chapter. We go to chapter 66, and Sophie's body is destroyed, we find out, but is back to Ethan. And then they have like a fun little catch-up moment, and he's like, he's like, so I fucked up. And
the moral of this book, I fucked up.
What happened? And he tells them, and then that's when she says Sophie's body is in the rubble somewhere. It's definitely gone. Not going to be anything useful for you now. Apparently, though, we did learn that Cormac had it sent back to Avalon, I guess, to give her a proper burial or whatever. And so that's why it
Which
was
makes
there.
sense. Like, I don't know why I didn't think of that in the first place.
Yeah, I forgot. Like, I literally, as soon as we found her body again, I just kind of forgot. Wow. That's not thunder.
That was terrifying.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Anyways, I thought someone was breaking in the
No,
book.
I also did too.
Anyways, and so, yeah, so Sophie's body, no use. But then they're like, hey, I've got an idea. Hunt, use your lightning. And Hunt's like, yeah, Regulus took some. And then Bryce is like,
What? You say what now? What?
yeah, and so he kind of explains that his lightning is made like similar to a Thunderbird's, and so it's like it can be used for the same thing. And then very conveniently, they have some crystals that can capture his lightning
That they found in the archives.
that they found, like a whole box of them they found in the archives that is still standing. And just here you go, Ethan.
Take him out.
And yeah, and so they tell Hypaxia that she needs to find a cure for the parasite. And Hypaxia's like, there's a parasite?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. And
Sick.
which also she's like she's like a doctor, right?
Yeah, she's a med witch.
Is she like really qualified to just make medicine?
Yeah, I mean, as much as any med witch probably is.
I don't know. I feel like they're just kind of like grasping at straws.
I think she's
right now.
always been like smart and like well, she did because remember she took when Bryce when she had the scar, she healed it.
Oh, that's true.
So I think she has always been qualified, but I think Sarah definitely upped her like science factor. for
Yeah.
this.
No, that's the part I'm talking about. Is more like the lab experience because I feel like that's two different sides.
I
of,
think
like,
it was
doctors.
probably just like ambiguous.
Yeah.
And then Sarah was like, "Oh, I'm gonna make this like a
She'll do.
thing."
Yeah. And so then she's like, "All right, Ethan, get over Sigrid. Sorry, and get on this
Sucks.
parasite thing." And immediately sends them back. They were there for literally like a full chapter, and that's
Like
it.
20 minutes of their time. They
Yeah.
didn't even get to say goodbye to anyone.
I know, and just sends them on their way. And I was like, okay, that's weird.
Rude, but okay.
Yeah, and I was like, I'm not them completely like invalidating. Like she's like, yeah, like a new Fendair is like important, but like this is way more important.
To be fair, it's what we're all thinking. But you didn't have to say the lab part out loud.
Yeah. So thank you, Bryce, for redirecting his attention. But at the same time, it's kind of a bitch.
It could have been a little nicer.
Yeah. Anyways, chapter 67. So Hunt goes and finds Bakshan, and he is in the stables. And, and he's like, hey, what you doing? And he is making beds for them in the stables because no one in Avalon will give them a bed or house them because, well, she did murder their king.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think that's fair.
A little bit.
Like a little bit. And then they have a little bro moment. And we learn about Bakshan's tragic backstory. So sorry, bud. You might die.
He's gonna die.
He's gonna die. Everyone
So
say
sad.
R.I.P. We love you, Bakshan. Say your goodbyes while you can. He will not be making it past the end of this book.
They gave him a backstory. He's totally dead.
Yeah, might as well slit his throat right now.
My poor man. I
Oh
love
my
him.
gosh, we do love Bakshan because I mean we were already talking about this before, even before we got to these chapters, where like they were like having a whole lot of bro moments with Bakshan. We're like, wow, you're such a good male.
You're so cool.
like
Let me
think
spot
it's
you at the
so-
gym.
I think it's so great that you just chose to like be a rebel and help Danica now, and like that you're all good. And like literally have had pre-workout. They've had like 0 issues and they've just been best buds. I'm like, wow, he's dying. So we think that is going to be a definite death in this book, which is so unfortunate because he's probably one of the only characters I would actually care if he died.
I love him.
Because at this point, if either Bryce or Hunt died, I'd be like, oh no.
I know.
Anyways, moving on. Next book. But yeah, so sorry, Bakshan. Live, laugh, love.
His backstory was like so sad though. Did you write down about it?
Yeah,
or no?
it's a little bit. I wrote that. So basically, Bakshan's backstory is that he is a half breed of an angel and a hellhound shifter. And so the parents loved each other very much. But when they, and they did it doggy style. And then little cute little mixed race Bakshin was born. And they're like, oh my gosh, a child, we're so happy. And then the entire town was like, what is this blasphemy?
They go, racism!
Yeah.
Ah!
And so they hated Bakshin because he was a half-breed mutt.
Poor boy.
And so then that made it really hard on his parents, like finding a good school and stuff like that. It's a little rough. Get stones thrown at you.
It happens.
And then turns out Bakshin's dad ends up getting the, what is the
Living
angel?
death.
The living death, which is, I think they just keep cutting off your wings.
Yeah, it's like they just keep torturing you until you slowly bleed out and die.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like you're alive while you're dying.
Yeah. Very sad. Sorry, Bakshin. And then Bakshin's mom, how did she die? I kind of forgot.
I think they just rioted and stoned her or
I think
something.
they tore her apart.
Yeah, something like
Sounds
that.
Familiar. Something like that. And then Bakshin's like, okay, well, I'm gonna go live on the streets now.
Mhm.
Cool. And he became known as the Snake because he started listening in and selling information and learning people's secrets.
I love him.
And he got somehow so good at it that Sandriel was like, you're gonna be my Triari. And so then he became part of Sandriel's Triari. Apparently he always hated it though.
Yeah.
But it was something to do and it was better than dying.
Yeah, it's better
So-
than being on the street.
Yeah, so that's how that happened. And then he also started talking about how Danica understood him and that despite all of his flaws that she was like, oh, I know a mixed race person like you, and she also dealt with similar things, so I understand.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, oh my god, love you, babe. And she's dead. So yeah, I feel like it's probably at least in Sarah's books where if your mate dies, you're also going to die. Because, you can't live really happily without your mate.
Yeah, he's
So-
definitely gonna have a whole sacrifice at the end where he's like, for Danica.
Go on without me! For Danica! Yeah, so then Hunt decides that Bakshin's going to stay behind on Avalon, which is just another way to get rid of him. I don't know how. And that he's going to be second in command to Hunt, and he's going to help direct everyone on Avalon and make sure they're all being accepting of the refugees. So that's great.
Wonderful.
Except we will not be seeing Bakshin anymore. But, it's okay. And then, so now it's Rune's chapter, and they're having a little brief of what they're all going to do, because they're all going separate ways. So,
To the wind.
Rune, Flynn, and Declan are going to go back to Lunathon, and they're going to find Naomi and Isaiah.
I love Isaiah.
And recruit
I love
them.
Isaiah.
And now I'm interested to see how that goes down, because,
Isaiah will go with them. He
Isaiah
is
will.
shoddy supreme.
for sure. And I don't know about Naomi, because even, Naomi was poor. Remember, she didn't even want to move apartments because she didn't have money to. So I don't know. Naomi might, but I'm also interested to see if Celestina is going to let them go.
Yeah.
Or if she's going to be against them, or if she's going to end up joining them. Because her and Hypaxia kind of broke up because they had a big old fight.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I don't know what's going to happen, but we will see with that. And then Lydia also volunteers to go with them.
Mm-hmm.
And then Therion and Sathia are going to go to the River Queen.
I'm
which-
kind of obsessed with Therion and Sathia.
Literally,
I'm
they're
kind of obsessed with
cute
them.
because I feel like they're both extreme levels of sassy.
Yeah.
And so I feel like they
So
work
sassy.
well together because they don't really have mushy gushy moments. So obviously not even close enough for that.
Mm-hmm.
But I like that they're kind of damn, you got awful luck, bro.
Yeah.
And it's I know,
Brian. And she's like, yeah, I want to go see how this turns out. I'm gonna go with you.
Yeah, I love her. So I honestly really love that Therion has someone.
Yeah.
Because he had crush on Bryce.
Yeah.
In a way, and I'm
Legs.
whatever. Everyone's got a crush on Bryce.
Yeah.
But I can't believe she tells him to go to the River Queen. As soon as he gets out of Avalon, the River Queen's going. Or the Ocean Queen, either one. Both hate him. So. But she does tell him to go back and convince the River Queen to harbor anyone who needs it. And it's because apparently during the attack on Lunathon, she was went out of her way to help people and get them to safety. So Bryce is banking on the fact that she'll do it again.
Yeah. She's appealed to her generosity.
Yeah, and he's like, I don't think me bringing a new wife is really gonna help, but okay. So he's gonna try that. I think I'm actually excited for that chapter.
Yeah.
And then let's see what happens next. Oh, okay. So then after they're kind of done with their brief, they're all about to go their separate ways. They're having a little nap in the barn.
Time management yet again.
And then Rune and Lydia are just like mind to mind talking, and they're like, I'm so happy you're here.
Oh my god, I'm so
Your past doesn't bother me. I love you, baby girl. Like, I don't know. They actually said some kind of serious stuff, but I probably didn't write it down because it's not important. And then they almost fuck, so that's great. And then at some point, who said it was
Flynn? Flynn is like, don't fuck right next to me.
Please,
and Bryce is like,
oh my gosh.
And Lydia's like giggling and kicking her feet.
Yeah,
she's
but
so funny.
One thing that Lydia does mention is that she's not going back to the Ocean Queen.
Yeah.
And then that chapter ends, and we're at 68, and Hypaxia is doing her little scientist shit. And then Ethan's like a glorified intern. So he's going getting water samples and bringing shit back. And in this chapter, he accidentally bumps into a Reaper, and he's like scared, but holds the door open for him, and she's like, "Thank you."
Cast Alana as the Reaper right now.
I would kill that role.
Literally, I figured it.
And then he's like, I've got an idea.
I have a
question.
Scientific method.
And so he goes and talks to Hypaxia, and he's like, what if Reapers don't have the parasite because they're already dead?
Mm-hmm.
She's like, that's a good hypothesis.
Let's test it.
So then she's like, we need a Reaper. And he's like, I'm gonna have to get it our time. She's like, maybe. And then we go back to Avalon, and Fury and June have arrived with the gang. And it's this big reunion, and they bought Streaks. Love him! He brought Daddy up his little puppy moment. And Bryce is like, oh my god, it's great. And then it's just a big old, like,
happy
hug.
reunion.
Everyone's happy. There's Cooper, he's there.
Yeah, he doesn't speak or do anything.
He doesn't, he's just there.
Yeah.
She was such a pointless fucking character.
Yeah.
Okay, then we go to chapter 69. So they get sent the Underking sends a Reaper, and he's this weird fuckboy Reaper that shows
like
up.
a rock star 80s, like he's got like, what did they say, like fuck you or kick-ass boots or something like that, and like
skinny jeans,
leather, and he's got like bleach blonde hair that's like moosed back, and I was like, God,
like,
I love him.
hell? Especially the way that I imagined Reapers before this was like, you know how like the cereal's drawn?
Yeah.
That's kind of how I imagined Reapers, but with like green eyes.
I fully imagine, I feel like I've said this before, the Sims Grim Reaper, that is what I've been seeing this entire time. It's the Sims Grim Reaper.
So they're essentially, I feel like the Reapers are essentially zombies walking around.
Kind of, yeah.
So
half-lives is what they call them.
Yeah, I guess. Oh, that makes sense.
Because they're half alive, half dead.
This is like a fantasy book.
Yeah.
Now that I think about it. Anyways, and so, but he shows up and he recognizes Ethan, and turns out he was on a lion shifter pack.
In the Ox.
Yeah, in the Ox, and he ended up getting attacked by vampires.
Mm-hmm.
And now he joined the Reapers. So.
And he's Ethan's kind of thinking to himself, and he's like, I wonder if he did it for like revenge, or just because he like didn't want to die.
Yeah. So that happened, and he's also really weird towards Hypaxia. He's like, you smell so good.
Swap. Swap.
Stop it. And Ethan's like vibrating, trying not to.
Twitching in the corner.
And Hypaxia's just doing her little like
witchy thing. And Ethan's like more offended than she is, and he's like,
yeah. And then eventually Hypaxia's like, okay, we're all good here, and he leaves, and then she's like, he doesn't have the parasite. And so that big breakthrough here. Within the first 24 hours, we'd have a breakthrough. So that's that. And then we go back to Avalon. And Fury has brought supplies. She's brought all kinds of stuff. I don't know how this all fit in a helicopter, because I feel like they forget the helicopters are small. And they already had like 5 people inside of it.
Maybe it's like a military helicopter.
Yeah, maybe
That's a big one.
little one.
Yeah.
I don't know. But again, this is where Fury's backstory would come in handy. Anyways, June and Bryce have this makeup where she's like, oh, it's okay. I don't really care that you kind of ruined my whole career, but it's okay. And love you, girl. You've got this. Love you, Queen of Avalon and the Valbaran Fae. And then Bryce talks to Ember about the Autumn King. So they basically just kind of looking at the spot where the cave used to be, and they're like, so he's buried in there? And they're like, yeah.
Yep. He's down there.
And
real deep.
So they're not really sad about it at all. And
Real.
Ember's just kind of happy that she doesn't have to live in fear of him anymore. And that she's essentially spent her whole life running from him and also worrying about Bryce for her. So yeah, that's fun. And then they hug, and Bryce is like, all right, it's time for me to go.
It's time to go.
Apparently Randall's flying the helicopter now, so.
I think it's Randall, Ember, and Hunt and Bryce are all going to the Northern Rift.
Why?
Well, she wanted Randall because he's expert with the military, and then I guess Ember probably just won't leave him.
Yeah, that's fair.
And is that the end?
Yeah, that's it.
So predictions. We already went over that. We think Bakshin's gonna die.
I also soon. It'll be towards the end.
Oh yeah, I have a weird feeling that like Ember's also gonna die for some reason. I don't think she is. I don't think Sarah would do that. Even though I thought that with a certain someone in TOG who I'm not going to spoil, but you know. Anyway, I'll tell you later.
Okay. But yeah, so my predictions are, this has been my predictions every time, but I feel like the Perithian gang is gonna show up again. The Avatar.
I've changed my mind about who I think is gonna pop through with them. I think it's gonna be Nyx. They're bringing the baby.
8-year-old Nyx.
What if he's old now, though?
It hasn't been that much time, though.
know that. Sarah's weird.
That's true. We don't explicitly know how much time it's been because
it's gonna be the baby.
Nesta does seem very comfortable being head of
Lady
she
Death.
is. Yeah. But I mean,
16-year-old
no
Nyx.
way Nyx is that old though. Like he's got to be like either toddler or like 8.
They're bringing the baby.
But yeah, I 100%. I feel like we're gonna see Rhys again. We're gonna see Rhys and Azriel and hopefully Nesta. I very much hope that I see Nesta again.
I want Cassian too, but I don't know if she'll bring Cassian because I think that's too many characters.
There probably is too many characters. And I feel like Cassian and Hunt are too similar that she's like, I can't let them exist in the same world.
Yeah, because it'd be like writing the same character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I hope we see them soon.
Yeah.
That'd be fun.
Yeah,
I wonder if they're gonna try and open the rift and
then
accidentally
it's
open it. And they're like they're just standing there like we've been waiting for you.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Either that or, because Bryce says at one point, Hunt's like, do you think they would help us? And she's like, no. I think it's gonna, like, she's gonna pull an Aelin and she's gonna, like, pop over there and be like, hey, I apologize for stealing your knife. Want to help me save my world?
Please.
Please? And then, like, at some point, heat of battle, they're gonna, like, pop out of nowhere and be like, ah, Lady Death.
Especially, I feel like they're gonna be super helpful because they are so much more powerful. Than the Fae on her Earth. So, like, what is it, like 5 of them equals like a couple thousand of ours?
At least 3.
Oh my god.
Anyway.
Yeah, so that would be helpful. Oh lord.
Who else? I think Isaiah is definitely gonna join up. I think that's gonna work out.
I love Isaiah.
I feel like the River Queen's also gonna work out.
Yeah, strangely. But I feel like someone else, we should decide who else is going to die. Because I feel like you said Ember, but I feel like there's going to be someone like more prominent that's going to die.
It's not going to be Deck. It's not going to be, it might be Flynn, but I don't think it's going to be Flynn. I don't have that feeling.
What we were talking, yeah.
I don't have the feeling, you know? I don't think it's going to be Fury or Juniper.
No one in a relationship is going to die.
I don't think it'll be Therion.
Rune and Lydia will be fine.
I feel like Rune might die. That's so random. But, like, I don't know who else. Because I don't think Lydia will die. I think Rune, if Rune sacrifices himself, it's going to be so Lydia can be with his children.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. But I don't see him, I feel like he's not going to die, though. Because I remember, I have seen people saying that, like, no one, like, major, at least that, like, is going to die.
Maybe it's Isaiah, then. Or Naomi.
Maybe.
Or Celestia. Or Hypaxia.
Or Ethan.
Oh, no! Ethan deserves to live!
Oh my god.
He just needs to keep making bad decisions.
I mean, Ethan's obviously going to become the alpha.
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah,
please.
At some point, I think Sigrid's just going to die. I think she's a lost cause at this point.
No, she's been a lost cause since day one.
Yeah.
The dragon's definitely going to show back up. What's her face?
Oh, I forgot
Ariadne?
about that. Yeah,
is that
Ariadne?
her name? Yeah. She's gonna show up.
Mm-hmm.
Sprite Queen's gonna show back up, but I think she's chilling.
Here it is, yeah.
I don't know who else will die.
Mm-mm.
Yeah. I know it's Baxian. My
Yeah.
poor man.
Love
Rich at the heart.
I literally can't think of anyone else.
Yeah, Rune and Lydia are the only two that I'm like, they might.
They might.
Because they're the only ones with like, that I can see like sacrificing themselves
Mhm,
and it
'cause-
being like painful.
Yeah. Because, I mean, Lydia has her children,
Mm-hmm.
and then Rune has Lydia.
Lydia, so.
So- oh my gosh. But yeah,
And he's already given up his crown.
that's true.
So it's like,
he doesn't need anything else.
yeah. But I don't know, because I don't know who else would die. That's strange. Maybe, oh, you know what? I bet it's Adidas.
No.
I bet it's Adidas.
Adidas. That's true.
I bet it's
Probably.
Adidas.
I love Adidas.
There we go. Baxian and Adida. And I don't really know what else is gonna happen. We don't really have that much left.
Mhm.
So I think they're gonna spend a little bit of time in the Northern Rift, probably a good like 10 chapters worth. Cause like, you know, doing all their things. Like the
Oh,
Northern
okay.
Rift. all
Northern
the
Rift
things.
to get back in.
Yeah, I think the
yeah.
next like 10 chapters, like 70 through 79, are gonna be like the doing
the
the
setup,
the setup,
essentially,
and then
the final battle.
it's gonna be the last like 20 chapters, and then like couple last ones will be like the ending.
Yeah, but we're getting close. I mean, we have
We're so
spent a
close.
long time together, guys.
Also, let us know about like what books we want to do next. We have been saying ACOTAR,
We've
so
also been saying Fourth Wing.
yeah.
So we can do either one.
We can do anything you want
Anything
and you
you want,
dream of.
I feel like. Oh, we'll talk about this later.
Yeah.
I don't want to hash it out now, but.
Let us know. I have work.
Oh, so true.
Peace out, Girl Scouts.
Bye. Thanks for listening. Lit Laugh Lounge.